Hi, welcome back to the Careful Diver. This is a really quick intro video, 6 things you should know about, think about, plan ahead if you want to go wreck diving. And this is for first timers, right? If you've never been on to a wreck and you're feeling a little nervous, like, ooh, what do I do? Here it is. This is it, okay? 6 easy little quick tips. So the first thing is if you are going to a wreck, I promise that there is a little table out there that has a photo of said wreck with the depths, with what it looks like, where's north, where's south. Get that. Get your hands on that. You can find it online, and that's a good thing to look at, but definitely have it on the boat. And if you can, literally buy it and take it with you underwater. There is no shame in that, especially if it's the first time you're seeing this wreck. Absolutely. So get that little map of the wreck. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, once you have that little map of wreck or you have a mental image of what this wreck looks like, be sure to triple check, where are we being dropped off? Some wrecks, you just literally drop and go to the wreck and it's right under the boat. But other wrecks have a line that goes down, and very confusingly, some wrecks have a ton of lines coming off the wreck. And okay, here's the thing. I'll tell you this. I'm an instructor. I've been diving for over 2 decades. I used to get really lost. And I used to feel kind of this shame of like, maybe I shouldn't ask. Stop. Don't be like me. Like, don't do that. Just ask. Just be like, okay, so where are we going down exactly? Like, are we going down to line 6 or 5? Or are we going to be at the front of the boat or the back of the boat or the side? Whatever it is. Ask, where are we getting dropped off? Where are we going down? Okay. That's number 2. That's having good situational awareness of where you are beginning your dive. 3, plan your dive. Okay. If it's a larger wreck, which is often the case, you are going to do probably several dives on it. Let's say you're doing 2 dives. Okay. The first dive is the deepest. Okay. The first cut is the deepest. The first dive is the deepest. So you look at it with your buddy and say, okay, well, we are going to be dropped here, but the deepest part is over here. So we are going to go all the way there. We're going to do a nice, actually, I did that wrong. You see what I did there? Boom. And then down at the bottom. That's the wrong way to do it. You're going to be dropped down to wherever you are, but stay as high as you can so you're not incurring decompression obligations, right? You're not getting closer to your NDL. And also you want to make sure that you're not using too much air, because as soon as you go down, air consumption goes up. So go down as high as you can. That makes sense in the dive world. And then go down into diagonal to wherever you want to start your dive, nice and deep, and then start moving your way up. You finish the dive, you go back to your exit point, exit, come back down, do the other half of the dive that is the shallower part of the wreck. Okay? All right. Number 4. Do not penetrate that wreck. What does that mean? Because sometimes I go with people on dives and they're like, I can't go in. I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean you can't go into the wreck at all. Okay, it's a bit of a broad statement. You can't go into the wreck without additional training, but this is your first wreck, so obviously hasn't happened yet, right? You cannot go into the wreck if you are losing sight of an exit. Okay? So why does that matter? There are some wrecks where you can do a whole swim through, right? You can go from one end to the other. Your exit, your entry point is behind you. You have a clear shot and you can see your exit. That's fine. You can go in one way and you can see right there's a hole to get out. That's perfectly fine too. You can go in the wreck. You can swim through the wreck, but you cannot put yourself in a position where you do not have eyes on an exit. That is really important. You always have to have access to the surface, and therefore you always have to have eyes on an exit to get yourself out of that wreck. Okay? Number 5, bring a light. Wrecks are dark. Even if you're not like in it, they're dark. And they have all sorts of stuff attached to them, and maybe you have like little rooms and overhangs. So bring a light and possibly bring a second light. That's not a bad idea. Have a light, at least one, maybe a backup light. And I'm a fan of having a little flashing light on the back of my tank. I'm going to include a link down in the description of my favorite one. It lasts for like, I don't know, 1,000,000 hours, and it turns on when it's wet, turns off when it's dry. And I just put it on my tank, and that way, if anything happens, if things get a little dark, someone can always see me And both for their safety and my safety, we are always aware of where we are. Okay? All right. Number 5. It's kind of an interesting one. It's kind of silly, but wrecks have a tendency to make people get distracted because they're beautiful and amazing. So watch your time, watch your air, watch your NDL like a hawk. And I mean it, because people get a little distracted on wrecks, and so you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your safety parameters, and you're a little bit more careful, and put it in your back, put it in your head that you need to be a little bit more careful, because you might get a little distracted because there's something so cool to look at, right? And then you're maybe navigating and doing swim throughs and whatever it is. Okay. And then number 6, really important, ask about your exit. Again, don't be embarrassed. There's nothing wrong with this. Like, be sure to understand, where am I exiting? Like, where am I going? Are we finishing somewhere different? Is the boat catching us because there's a current? Am I going back up exactly same line? Am I going the same spot? Like, be cognizant and ask the boat, hey, where are we getting picked up? If it's the same spot, great. That's super easy. And then this is number 7. It's a bit of a bonus. It's not really just for wrecks, but I found this to be really helpful. Sometimes if there can be confusion underwater and your navigation isn't great and there are lines going down to the wreck, what I have seen people do, and I've actually done it when I'm with a buddy and we had a situation arise, is that you can hang something, right, on the line so that you recognize it when you need to go back up again. And that is helpful, as I said, if you have like 12 different lines coming off the boat and you're afraid, oh my God, I'm going to get confused, hang something there. I mean, it can be as easy as like a piece of cord with, a double header, or maybe you want to, those little lights I mentioned, those little flashing lights, you can just throw one on there. You can put on an old mask that you don't care about anymore. You can like try to wrap that there. But anyway, you can put something there that tells you, hey, that's the line that we need to go back up. And that's one way to help you get down and back up from a wreck. And that's it. That's the video for today. And I'm so excited. If you are going on a wreck, please do tell me about it. I love wrecks. From going down to the Keys, the Spiegel is definitely a very, very often visited destination for me. I just came back from the Red Sea where we did incredible dives on absolutely magnificent wrecks. And so please share with me. I would love to know where you've been, what you've done, and obviously if this video was helpful, because that's why I'm doing it. So if it wasn't, let me know kindly, please, politely, but let me know. And thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in.